Cipha Sounds is a incredibly well-respected DJ from the New York scene who has also been a massive innovator, including starting the world's first ever hip-hop podcast and playing a pivotal role in the launch of artists like Rihanna, Rick Ross, and Nina Sky. On top of that, he is a worldwide touring comic, as well as part of the inner circle of Dave Chappelle and Mo Amer touring the world with them. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my friend, Cipha Sounds. Ciph, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
It's really good that we get a chance to catch up. It's been a while since we've seen each other. Thank you.
I know.
Dubai levels.
Dubai, bro.
Talk to me about Dubai.
Fan, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Well, we almost got together a couple of years ago when you were in Abu Dhabi performing as a comic, and we were not able to make it happen. But you've spent a few days on the ground here with Mo Amer.
Yeah.
How's it been?
It's great. I went to Abu Dhabi 3 times. I thought Dubai was just going to be like Abu Dhabi. It's very different. Man, Dubai is, I don't like a lot of places. I'm very picky, and I also don't like heat. And I like it here, which means I really like it here because it's hot as, I mean, but it's great, man. Everything you need, everything is new, modern, great people I've been meeting, multicultural, beautiful women. It's crazy out here.
Yeah.
It's a vibe, bro.
I think anytime where there's like sunshine, good times, and a lot of money in circulation, the beautiful people do show up at scale.
Yeah. It's like everyone sends their beautiful people here.
They do right now. They do, and they're running out of options of places that they can go and also be safe.
Right.
You know,
the safety, bro. The safety is crazy. It's incredible out here.
Yeah, it's a special place.
Yeah, like to hear, whatever. I don't care about I'm from the hood. Hood stuff happens, right? But to hear women talk about how safe it is here, it makes me feel good. That women who have to be constantly aware of that issue on a whole nother level than we have to be aware of it. You know what I'm saying? And I really like it. It's really cool.
And my sister was at your show the other day at the Dubai Opera House. You were with Mo Amer, and she said that she had the best time ever.
Oh, man,
How was it for you?
Oh, it's great. It's tough. Tour's tough. I'm on tour with Mo right now. Mo Amer, if you don't know who he is, he's a American Palestinian comedian. He had a show on Netflix about a Palestinian growing up in Houston and kind of being a refugee and not having paperwork. It was a really funny show, really good, really heartwarming. And the show blew up. And then, it connected to a lot of people, and especially the Arab world. So like a lot of the shows are very Arab, Muslim, but like amazing. They love him so much, and I get to be a part of it. And we did all of Europe. We did all the states from February to August. September, we were all in Europe, and October all through the Middle East. And it's been amazing.
How does it feel to do that part
Except
of the
for
tour?
Egypt.
Why?
I had a great time in Egypt, but there was a review, and the lady trashed me.
Oh my God.
I might quit comedy because of this lady.
I think probably she tried to sell you some papyrus artwork, and you said no. You were the only person that left Egypt without buying something,
right?
And they were just mad. They were like, word got up to the powers that be.
No, but I've been having a great time, man.
Yeah, I was in Egypt for a video shoot, and I was told like avoid trying to buy anything. And one person was like, I want to show you original papyrus. So I was like, okay, well, this is original paper. Let me see it. Man, this guy pulls out this papyrus. And he goes, well, what are your parents' names? Like, he's just asking me, you're Indian. What are your parents' names? And I told him my parents' names, and he wrote it on there, and he goes, you have to buy this now. And I was like, you got me.
Wow,
I think I bought one of them just to break the tension. It might have been like $25 for like something that was probably printed in China, but it gave me an honorable excuse to get out of the room. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Egypt is a trip.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk a lot today about this over 3-decade career of yours, where you've managed to participate at an elite level. Yeah, you worried that I just said 3 decades. Yeah, it's real.
That's wild when you say it like that.
Over 3 decades. So 30 years has been done.
No.
You started when, 97 you were carrying records?
My first real job was 95, 96. So 3 decades right now.
I can tell you most people by the time they hear this, it'll be 3 decades booked and looked, right?
Yeah, okay, cool.
So you've got this like massive amount of experience, but what's interesting is that you've managed to hit an equilibrium point, which I've only seen a few great people get to, which is people like, Russell Peters at some point in his career was ultra famous, ultra respected, but could still walk down the street and was still very approachable.
Yeah.
And that's definitely you right now. Anybody who knows any of the Cipha Sounds that exist simultaneously are like, yo, that guy is like a serious dude.
Yeah.
From your perspective, should we just go top to bottom in terms of careers that you've really excelled in? Number one, it would start off with DJing, and not just DJing, but DJing alongside Funkmaster Flex, who was the de facto East Coast hip hop DJ in the tunnel on radio.
Yep.
And in the de facto hip hop club where, you know, artists like DMX, The Lux, so many others were broke in the tunnel.
Yeah.
You made your way into pretty high rankings then. What do you remember about that early part of your journey, and what part of that journey is transferable to where you are today?
Oh, that's everything. Everything about me, everything who I am today comes from those days. I look at those days as boot camp. I look at those days as my genesis, and all the tactics I use in every one of my fields comes from, like, DJing the tunnel was, you know, you hear the lore of it now. It's amazing, all these hip hop artists and 2,000, 2,500 people, and it was Sunday nights, and every artist went there to perform. It was ghetto, rugged, rough, scary, unsafe. You women that live in Dubai, that was unsafe. Fights, stabbings, you know, we could tell you all the good stuff and the bad stuff. And like, I was like basically in a boot camp where I learned how to, like, oh man, if you don't please this crowd, you could get beat up. You know what I mean? So that's where I learned how to, like, read a room and cater to the audience and be able to network with the right people to get me out of there if I had to get out. You know what I mean? All that comes from the tunnel, from DJing.
What kind of EQ would you say you have as a result now? Like, you talk about reading the room, and typically when you're in those kind of environments where, you know, 1,000 sets of eyeballs are staring at you, judging you for every single beat of every single second that plays on that turntable, you're constantly being judged. Do you think that beat the fear out of you early?
Yeah, for sure. Because it's like, it's the concept is, my friend used to tell me, it's you lift 500 so that you can lift 50, right? So in the gym, you lift 500 so that when you go outside, and the big problem is 50 pounds. Oh, is it? Do I have to do metrics?
No, it's all good.
Are you sure?
It's basically.
Will people know what pounds are?
Yeah, everyone knows. Yeah,
Okay,
about half that is kilos. Yeah.
Okay, so how many kilometers you have to lift?
Kilograms.
You know what I'm saying? What was that?
Kilograms.
I'm not sure.
Kilos. Like what some of your friends used
So
to sell.
milliliters.
No, kilograms. Yeah.
Oh, they sell kilos in the tunnel too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's it's Kobe Bryant.
Right.
It's Kobe Bryant. You take 1,000 shots so that when you get to the game, it's just muscle memory.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And was that the first place you transferred that skill, that lack of fear, that effectively, like broadcasting, was when you transitioned to radio?
Yeah, all of it comes from this. It was so heavy at first. Bro, when I started finally DJing on my own, like headlining, and I would go to these parties in Jersey or Connecticut or Boston, it was light work, bro. Light work. Because I came from the rugged, dirty, grimiest. People used to throw ice at me in the beginning of the night. Like, yo, turn it up, throw ice. I'm like, what? I had to jump out. So it was crazy. So yeah, so then when I transferred to radio, I still was nervous, but I didn't have fear. You know what I mean?
Do you think it's important that all people on their creative journey go through some sort of early baptism of fire?
I don't know if it's 100% necessary, because I'm sure there's a lot of amazing artists that didn't. I just think it is a valuable gift and a tool to have done that. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's artists that, you know, I'm sure there's like rich kids that also became great artists, but there's just a little something missing from your soul.
Yeah.
If you don't struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We actually have a new policy in our company, which is that we don't release any videos from our clients now until they've hit 12 videos in the can, which is like the effective equivalent of like an album, right?
Right.
So I'm like, we're not just going to put out 2-3 videos, because when you put out 2-3 videos, your friends or people will be like, well, I like this, but I didn't like that. I'm like, no, we're going to produce 12 videos.
Right.
And once they're scheduled, then we'll put them out. And so that means that they've got to go in the studio and get 12 videos done.
Yeah.
If they start getting feedback too soon, they might start to doubt themselves, and it's never really healthy.
Yeah.
When you transitioned to radio, firstly you started off DJing on radio, right?
Yeah.
Which involves a little bit of mic work.
First I started interning.
Right.
First, I started interning for Funkmaster Flex, literally carrying records, setting up records, getting food. And then he would be running around getting drops or doing something, and I get 5 minutes. Like, yo, I'll play the next 2 songs.
Live on radio.
Live.
In the whole tri-state, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut.
Exactly.
Which is hundreds of thousands, if not millions of listeners.
Millions.
Yeah.
At that time, millions. And so and then I eventually got on my own show with Big Cap, rest in peace.
Rest in
And then I
peace.
got my own show. So it was just, it was years, bro, years. But I started Hot 97 in 1997. I didn't get an inkling of my own thing until like 02, 03, like, you know what I mean?
And what was that thing?
The main thing that the biggest accomplishment I got at that time at Hot 97 was a show called Cipha Saturdays. So it was Saturday morning. I would be on an air personality, which means I just talk like a jock, and then 12 noon I would mix, and that was never ever a mix time. Mixing was always at night, so I would mix at 12 noon on a Saturday, and it created the craziest fan base because my fan base was everybody doing their laundry. Washing their cars, going to they're running their errands. So like, I had this like weekday working class doing all their stuff on the weekends, and it created a whole new genre of fans like that didn't know they wanted that or needed that from both of us.
Well, when you were an on-air personality at that time, and this is pre-iPhone, pre-broadband internet, did you think about crafting a personality? Because nowadays, people says everyone's got a podcast, but typically when they get on the mic, they're not self-aware enough to think who it is that they're presenting on the mic.
Yeah.
Were you at that time?
No, not at all. It's that back then, especially, was my natural personality. My boss helped me.
Well, is it not your natural personality now? Because I've known you maybe 8 years and you seem to be consistent.
No, it's all not. Yeah, everything about me is my natural personality.
Yeah.
Now, the way I deliver it is my natural personality.
Right.
How I make my friends laugh, chilling, is what I try to bring to. But I learned that because I was on the air, and everyone would say I was funny. Oh, I heard you on the radio today. You were funny. What about my mix? Yeah, it was good. You're funny. I'm like, okay, funny seems to be the thing.
Yeah.
But that was just my natural. I used to call it road trip funny. Like, you're on a road trip with your friends.
Yeah, the funny guy in the car.
Everyone in the car's cracking up.
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay, so you get to that stage, you started the first ever hip-hop podcast.
Yeah.
Which was then called Juan Epstein.
Yeah.
Now called Juan Ep Is Life.
Juan Ep Is Life.
That came into fruition 09?
07.
07?
2007.
Very early. The inception of that, you and Peter Rosenberg, also another nerd.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
So that came purely by accident. They wanted us to do the morning show on Hot 97. And we didn't know each other. So we were like, hey, let's go sit in that back room, talk to each other on a mic so we can learn how each other's style is. And by doing that, he was like, oh, let's put it out as this is all Peter Rosenberg. He's like, oh, let's put that out as a podcast. And I was literally like, what's a podcast? No idea. He's like, oh, it's this thing. If you put it on your iPod, you can download it and put it in iTunes, download it. And I was like, all right, let's do it. And we just did it to practice talking to each other. And it became, multi-$100 million industry now.
Yeah,
hip hop podcast.
Yeah. I mean, I did my first podcast with Gary Vaynerchuk in 2009, and the amount of blank faces that I got when I told I've got a podcast. People didn't even know there's a podcast app on their phone when that happened.
Right.
When it comes to being a pioneer, at that time, your attitude was fuck it, let's just give it a try, or were you did you think about the upside? Because all these things are things that stacked up to build this kind of legacy brand that you've built.
No, the upside to us was getting to talk to our favorite rappers and DJs for longer periods of time. Because when they come on the radio, we only have a 5-minute break. And in that 5 minutes, you have to do the intro, you have to do...
you have to talk about the new single.
Yeah, you have to talk about the
talking points.
Thing, the promoting, and then also a contest. Also, call us up in the next 97 caller. You get this. So you get 3 minutes with the artist, maybe three 3-minute segments. But we want to ask them the deep nerd stuff. So we were so lucky to go, okay, can we sit in this room for an hour and dig in? And we would ask questions that no one ever asked.
Did you realize how important the work you were doing then was? Because you know that I worked with the Sugar Hill Gang, and they produced the first ever mainstream hip hop song.
Yeah.
With Rapper's Delight in 1979. But what came downstream from that, the hip hop music genre, recorded music genre, is huge. But what came downstream from what you and Peter Rosenberg did with Juan Epstein is also huge. I mean, there are some careers that would be arguably dead and gone if it wasn't for the format that you guys created.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't mean your career, by the way. I'm talking about like
I know.
The people that have become hosts of hip hop podcasts
Of course,
since.
I know. Like this is how I always say it. I don't know whether that person would have been successful or not if it wasn't for what we did. I don't know if they would have been, but I know they are successful right now because of what we did. You understand the difference? I'm not saying I put them on, but they did get a lot of this stuff, or the whole thing came from us. We did not know how it was important at the time. At a grand scale, we knew how important it was to nerds like us. Talking to a large professor about him secretly producing Eric B. and Rakim album, asking Snoop Dogg. By the time we interviewed Snoop Dogg, he had been famous for however many years, and everyone had asked him everything. Every time he shows up for an interview, he's like, they're going to ask me this. They're going to, I smoke weed. I do this. I go, Snoop, on the Death Row Records, who's that Jamaican guy that's on like certain songs? He was like, no one's ever asked me that. And then he lit up. He's like, oh, this is some ish right here. So like stuff like that, like breaking down the nerd talk, But the problem was at the time we were so focused on being on Hot 97, Juan Ep was always like our side project, where someone like Combat Jack saw what we were doing and made it his main project.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then it turned into, Nori, Joe Button, and all these other, now Fat Joe and Jada Kiss.
Yeah.
It's like crazy now.
Yeah. No. Rest in peace, Combat Jack, and shout out to Premium Pete, our man, as well.
Yeah.
So one of the things that you've touched on there is effectively like authenticity. You wanted to have long form conversations.
Yeah.
You wanted to ask the nerdy questions. If you were training somebody right now to go onto a microphone and talk, how would you guide them towards finding their authentic voice?
It's hard because for some reason microphones are intimidating to people. Getting used to hearing yourself talk is the worst. You know what I'm saying? So I tell people there's no shortcut. You got to go in there and talk a lot and listen to yourself a lot and get used to it. And like, don't try to force your own authenticity, because when you force it, it's not authentic, right? Go in there, and I tell people like, copy your favorite people. Copy them, listen back, and when you're hearing what you copied, in there you'll hear little nuggets. That's you. Then start, but you're not gonna get until you hear it. And it's very hard to hear your own voice. It's the same with stand-up. There's one thing to be on stage, and then there's one thing to listen to your tape afterwards. And that's where you get the gems. I said it. Oh, I waited 2 seconds before I said this. You don't realize that on stage. It's that's the work. The stage is the fun.
Yeah, in our business, we call it Death Valley, which is the time from the first video shoot we do with a client to the first time they see it. Because they leave the video shoot with all the trauma of how terrible that video shoot was in their head.
Right.
And then they go into this Death Valley where they're like, it's horrible, maybe I should quit. And then they see it come out of the edit and they go, wow, like I'm George Clooney.
Yeah.
But they don't realize because we've gone into the lab afterwards and cleaned it all up. And so that's one thing that I think is an important thing. But what I never framed it the way you did, which I think is genius, which is go through it, whilst you're recording it, be somebody else, and then when you listen back to it, listen for yourself.
Yeah,
I think that's actually genius.
Yeah, I go into Dave Chappelle, not to name drop. I'm Mr. Name Dropper.
Yeah.
I'll be dropping names.
I got a sweep to sweep up the names after we leave the studio.
Yeah, there's a lot of names on the floor.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go into Dave Chappelle's room, like his hotel room, and he's watching his old specials. I'm like, why you watch? And oh, it's out. The third one, it's out already for years. And he goes, I hear things that I missed. I hear things I should have said this. I'm like, damn, you still do that? You're Dave Chappelle. And he goes, that's why I'm Dave Chappelle. And he's like, damn, I should have said this part. And then it'll become a new joke. You know what I'm saying? So, but people get nervous. Like, a lot of people waste a lot of time before you get on the mic. Like, you have a mic in your pocket. Just turn it on and talk. And like, it's gonna take 9, 10, 12, 15 hours before you like something. But you gotta get to the 15 or it's not gonna work.
Yeah. It's like almost like a pilot's flight hours.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
You just gotta get them
Bro,
done.
exactly. Dude, would you get into a plane where the guy was like, it's my first flight, guys? No. You gotta do the hours.
Yeah. No.
I just met this guy in Egypt. He was one of the youngest pilots for Egypt Air.
And you're like, I'm good. I'll wait for the next.
He said, no. He said, he's not now. He's older now. He said when he learned to fly, he didn't even have a driver's license. He couldn't drive to the airport where he would then fly on his own.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not very confidence inspiring. Thankfully, he's still here with us. At the same time, in 2007, when you are almost putting out this podcast as a byproduct of A, needing to get your on-air chemistry with Peter Rosenberg, but B, also as a nerd, taking the opportunity to have longer form conversations with people, you are also helping launch the careers and even producing hit records for like Nina Sky, Rihanna, Rick Ross. One of the things that I found fascinating in my own career is that whilst I've been out DJing and touring and doing crazy parties, I've also been involved in like, mergers and acquisitions and things of that nature in the media industry. And I'm running two parallel lives, one as a creator and one as, the thing that I'm being paid to do.
Yeah.
How have you balanced that? Because at any one point, I would say the Cipha Sounds that I've known has always had at least two things going on.
More than two.
Yeah.
I just like doing a lot of things. DJing is 90% at night. So what am I doing all day long?
Right. Okay.
I know a lot of guys that sleep till 2, smoke weed, get up with a girl, go DJ, sleep till 3. I'm like, bro, you're missing a lot of good hours here, right? So, I mean, sometimes to my detriment, I try to fill every slot of time in my day because I'm like, I'm here to do stuff that I like. Why wouldn't I do a lot of it?
But here's my question. How'd you do it well? I mean, you produce Nina Sky, which still will turn a club upside down, move your body. And you added to the culture by bringing in the air horn, which is like a staple part of hip hop sets. Of course, it was part of dancehall before, but like, it takes a certain person to cross that over.
Yeah.
You needed to have a certain permission in the culture to introduce that into the nightclubs. So to do things, but to do things that stick.
It's bottom line basis, it's going to be hard to comprehend. It's love, right? Everything I do, I love to do. You don't hear about the things I don't love to do because they either fail or I'm like, I don't want to talk about that. I don't love it. So like, it's like finding the things you really want to do. I don't have this thing, especially being out here in the Middle East. A lot of people I hear like, oh, my mom and dad, my mom, I was in Saudi and like this girl, I'm not gonna say who, she watched the whole show, her hair was out. When we went to take a picture, she covered her hair. I'm like, why are you covering your hair now? She goes, my dad, on social media, my dad might see it. I never had that. I never had a mom and dad pushing me towards engineering or being a doctor if it wasn't my passion, right? And I don't know if I don't know if I'm lucky or unlucky, both, but everything I do is because I love it. So anything to do with music, playing it and making it, I swear to God, to this day, I've been to the greatest parties, the greatest comedy shows. There's nothing more fun to me than being in a studio for 20 hours, making a song, a beat, listening to 4 hours of snare. Bro, I love it.
But I'd have never thought of all of your like arsenal of skills that was your favorite. I thought it would have been like DJing.
Oh no, I suck at producing. That's why
Right, okay.
I can't make money from it.
Yeah. It's meant to be a 2-hour session. It just happens to last 20.
No, honestly, I was not. I commit. Yo, my drums samples fire, and then I'm done.
Right,
I can't play.
Right.
But even like being when I was at A&R, I'd be in the studio longer than the artists. You know what I'm saying? I just love that. I love creating. Bro, what is sound? What is it? What is sound? A vibration, a noise. I was sitting the other day, I was listening to my headphones and I was bopping my head. And I was like, why is this noise making me do this? What natural guttural feeling of vibration and sound put together in a rhythm? What's rhythm? Who knows? What's genre? Why do we hear one song and go, we know that's hip hop and we know this is Afro house? Same machine made it, you know what I mean? But the soul of it.
Well, it's the drum pattern, and we pattern recognize clusters of sounds that sound similar.
Yeah.
Or maybe you're right, actually. Maybe it's the feeling you get from it, which is the reason why when a song crosses over genres, it's almost like two records mixing at the same time.
Yeah.
That high it gives you.
Yeah, and it's culture, it's ethnicity, it's religion, geography, all that stuff, right? You take a chicken and you add Caribbean flavor, or you add Asian flavor. It's you know what I mean? It's different, but it's the same bird. You know what I mean? So it all comes from love, is what I'm saying. I love being at A&R. I love doing stand-up. I love doing improv comedy. I love DJing. I love talking about those things. And I crafted my life to just do that. Now, I am not great at marketing those things to the public, or great at, like, you just said you do mergers and acquisitions.
Yeah, I've been involved in some,
That sounds fire.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
But I don't have a love for it. You know what I'm saying? I went to school to be an airplane mechanic. That's what I went to school for. I hated it. I was like, I don't care about this. You know, it was my mom, you know, trying to have a career. You got to have a career. You got to have a plan B.
Yeah. All in.
Man. All in, bro. It's not the only way, but it's my only way.
So you've now got these hit records. Tell me about that period of time where you're doing everything that we just discussed, but at the same time as well, you're early in Rihanna's career. You're producing records for Nina Sky.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on at that time in your life in terms of creatively and how you're introducing yourself to like your music ecosystem? Because you're already Ciph. At that point, you really have like the love of the streets. At that point,
Yeah.
you could have just cruised. But now you've launched a podcast and now you're producing records. Like, tell me about that process of like diversifying.
Cruising is boring, man.
Right.
It's boring. There's a lot of people who like to chill. I don't have chill. You know what I'm saying? My career has so many different levels, right? But let's say
the Ponder Replay era.
Yeah, 01, as I'm telling you, 01, 02, I get heavily into dancehall. I played reggae before. As a New York hip-hop DJ, you have to play reggae.
Especially if Brooklyn's in the house.
Yeah, New York City, you got to have a half-hour reggae set.
Yeah.
Murder, She Wrote, and, you know, I got all the hits.
Yeah.
When you go to the record shop and you buy all the new hip-hop, the reggae's there.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's the top 3 reggae? They give it to you, you play it.
Yeah. And dancehall, right?
Yeah.
Like it was like Red Rat and Goofy and all the big records. Yeah.
All that.
Yeah. Mr. Vegas, obviously.
Yeah, Miss Vegas, Beanie Man, those records. But I got really into the dancehall culture. My DJ style, it comes from dancehall. Like before dancehall, before I got into it, my DJ style was copying DJ Riz, who's my mentor.
Yes.
Everything I learned about how to DJ on radio and a club came from DJ Riz. And I was DJing, and I'm like, I'm just Riz. And nowhere near as good, right? And then when I found dancehall, I said, oh, talking into the records. Not just talking to talk. Like, a lot of people get on the mic and they say nothing. People that don't turn the volume down when they talk on the mic, I don't respect you. You don't know what you're doing. You're just, what you sound like in a club is just like,
yeah, it sounds awful. Yeah.
Bro, turn the volume down. You have to be in sync. If you're just on the mic, you're not a DJ, you're the mic guy.
Yeah.
You have to be in sync with the DJ to know when you can turn the fader down.
There's a pocket there as well.
A pocket. So I saw dancehall style where they talk about something like all the girls that dressed up tonight, and then a song about
Yeah.
Dressing Up comes on.
Yeah.
I said, oh, I want to do that with hip hop.
Yeah.
Right? Then I become the guy. Bobby Connor's and Jabba played dancehall reggae music on Hot 97.
I remember.
But it was late night. And they had the Jamaican scene, the Caribbean scene on lock. I started playing it Saturday morning. I would start my show with 10 minutes of dancehall. Bro, streets went crazy. Because like they're like, we never hear this at this time unless we listen to a mixtape. So all the artists started loving me. So I became like the guy who was like the Caribbean bridge. So I tried to get Sean Paul a deal. I brought Sean Paul to different labels. He was signed to VP Records. They ended up blocking it and then getting a deal with VP Records. So he went that way. One of the guys I tried to get a deal with turned out to be Rihanna's manager years later. So he's like, I got a girl from the Caribbean. I need to figure out how to break her in New York. Cipha Sounds. Because he's the guy that breaks all the Caribbean records. And those are ugly, grimy Jamaicans. What about a beautiful Bayesian girl? Let's go. Easy. And I had already made the Nina Sky record. Shout to Ted Smooth. He did the Lumi D record, which was taking a reggae beat and having a girl sing on it.
Yeah, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So that's the formula. I was like, oh, I'm going to take the girls Nina Sky, I didn't know they were going to be huge like that. I just wanted to get them some exposure. I said, I can play your song on the radio if you sing over a hit beat. So let's do Coolie Dance. Coolie Dance is a hit beat right now.
Yeah.
Bro.
Nuts.
Explosion. I was like, whoa, I didn't even, like it hit me so fast. They like went crazy. So I'm known as that guy. All right, I got this girl from Barbados. I didn't make Pon the Replay, but they played me a couple songs. I said, that one, that one's a great one to start with. I go, hey, I'm going to play it on the radio so that when you go to try to get a deal, you already are played on Hot 97, which is a big deal to be played on Hot 97. So I took that, played it on Hot 97, and I worked for Jay-Z at the time. So I had
A&R?
Huh?
A&R?
A&R.
In his Def Jam era.
Yeah, when he was the president of Def Jam. He had a label called Roc-La-Familia.
Yeah, I remember. That was a sub-label under Def Jam at that time, right? It was post-Rockefeller, pre-Rock Nation.
Right. And then it was with OG Juan. You always hear Jay talk about OG Juan.
Yeah, of course.
So, the label didn't really do that well, but it's because I think it wasn't enough time because then Jay left. But what they were doing was like, we were looking for world music. And what's popping now? World music, African, Afro beats, Latin music. Jay and OG Juan was on that early, trying to get these Spanish artists, Latin artists. Anyway, so Rihanna, so I play it, she ends up getting the deal. Look
Off
at her
she
now.
goes, yeah.
Look at her now, right? But it comes like my problem, I'll tell you my good and my bad. My good is I have the ear, I have the soul. Rihanna to this day loves me. I love her. She loves me.
Yeah. This year you caught up with her and A$AP Rocky, right?
Yeah. Love.
Yeah, all love.
I mean, so much. Like, I felt like really, sometimes you get depressed. People don't show you love. So much love.
Yeah.
I have the ear. I have the, I don't know how to say it, like the know-how. This is how you get a record popping. Back then. Now, internet is crazy.
Yeah.
This is how you get a record popping. I know that. I've done it before. Boom, did it. It gets popping. She goes, right? I don't know how to say to her producers at the time and her manager, all right, I'm going to get this popping, but I need 15%. I don't know how to, I don't know. It's like it wasn't about that to me. It was about this young girl sitting next to me on the couch in the studio in New York wanting to sing. I want to help her to get that. You know what I'm saying? So then she wanted me to I DJ'd for a couple times.
You were in the music video too?
In the video's like, it's about me.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. DJ. I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
But I couldn't go on tour with her because I was locked into Hot 97. If you ask me my regrets in life when I'm on my deathbed and you're like, what Grandpa? What regrets do you have? Not going on tour with Rihanna.
Yeah.
But I gave it to my friend Max Glazer.
Yeah.
My number two, you know what I mean? I mean, not number two, but like, I'm like, Max, Max taught me how to play reggae.
Right.
So why wouldn't I? It's all connected.
One ep joke as well that you were the DJ for Little Kim.
Lil' Kim, yeah.
Never known, never spoken about.
But yeah, so I just don't know how to do the business part, the money part. It feels grimy to me.
Has that ever backfired on you, would you say? Do you feel like
All the time.
you'd like to have had more money? So let me ask you a question. We spoke about the book that I'm writing, Undeniable Social Proof.
Yeah.
When have you done the proof thing well? When have you walked into a situation and been like, look, here's my track record. We need to go right now. I'm not going to start at the bottom on this. Like, your production has now been super successful. Innovator in podcasting, innovator on radio. It's like, how many times do I have to prove myself?
That's a very interesting question. I don't think I ever have. Because I like the bottom. You know what I mean? That's where you really learn it. That's interesting. I mean, there's nothing new. Nothing new like that. But there is times where I'm like, bro, I've been doing this a long time. I'm not doing it for that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I'll tell you. Okay, I know exactly where. The new job I have, I'm on a radio station called 94.7 The Block. Mm-hmm. It's a new radio station in New York. They play only throwbacks, 90s and 2000s. Mm. This is the only time I've ever had leverage because I didn't want to go back to radio. Mm. So they asked me and they offered it and I go, nah. But back in the day, to get my own show on the radio, I would have did it for free.
But hold on, this is because the number wasn't right initially.
No, it's the time.
Okay.
The time. I don't want to be locked into a room because I want to be on the road. Again, I didn't get to tour with Rihanna.
Yeah.
Max had to go through 4 passports.
Right.
The pages ran out. And I regretted it. Oh man, I love traveling. I want to travel the world. I learned on the Funkmaster Flex, he hates traveling. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I was like, oh, to be successful in radio, you can't travel. That's him. That's his way, not my way. So I didn't want to be locked in a room. So I said, no, thank you. They offered again, no, thank you. Well, what if we can do some remote? Okay, well, now you're talking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, boom, boom, and it worked out.
So you've just taught me something massive there, which is, I don't know what the right term is. We're going to have to figure it out now on the mic, but almost like, you know what they say, like what my baseline is? Like what my...
See, the thing is, I don't do things for money, right? I make money. I make good money, right? But it's never my driving force. I do it for the experience. I do it for fun, right? So if you tell me a gig for a corporate gig and I'm going to get 20,000, but it's like a bunch of stiffs in a room and like I'm by myself, I'm good. And that's probably, that's like a lot of money. And people, I know people that take the money and do it over and over and over. And I know a lot of them, they're not happy. I'll take a gig at a bar for $500, but I get to play whatever I want and everyone's going crazy. But what I've noticed, the thing with me is my thing is long game. So if I would have tragically died when I was 35, all these stories would never come out because all of it didn't start coming to fruition until after that. Long game, bro. I was the DJ on the Chappelle show. Where's his name drops? I was the DJ on the Chappelle show in 02, 03. He said you should do stand-up. I go, what are you talking about? Why would I do stand-up? The GOAT told me. Now in 2025, I tour with Dave Chappelle. That's how many years ago? You know what I mean? But it's long game, And when Dave came back from his hiatus, what we call the dark years, I didn't just go right with him. I had to like work my way up to it. But it was for the fun. I would go out, the first person I ever toured with in stand-up comedy was Michael Che. When I met Michael Che, I had way more money than him. I was way more famous than Michael Che was when I met him. And he starts getting popular and getting headline gigs. I wanted to learn I never did comedy on the road. I'm like, can I travel with you? He goes, yeah. I said, I'll pay my own way. I'll buy the flight. I'll get my own hotel. I just want to go with you and see how it is. And then I didn't even ask to open for him. I just wanted to go. And when we got there, he goes, oh, you want to open? Sure. And then he started paying for everything. The flights, the hotel. Oh, this is my opener now. But I had to spend money and go for the experience, go for the lesson. So the way I do it is for the love, for the learning, for the fun. Now, I have a lot of money. I have a nice house, nice cars, all that stuff. But I never like I gotta get this gig to get the money. Like
Yeah.
I don't even know how much I make sometimes.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah.
Every year at the end of the year, my account's like, you got to pay this much in tax. What? Why?
Yeah.
What do you mean? She goes, you made this much. What?
Yeah.
I did?
No, I get it. I think you have to get really used to as a creative spending money for any upside. Like for example, like paying for this studio today. When I work out that bit that you just gave me about like if proof is nothing else, it's your baseline.
Yeah.
It's your new baseline. And God damn it, I wish I'd come up with the right word. It's your backstop.
Yeah.
It's like I'm not going below that. Point being is that once you've got that foundational level there, I'll give you an example. I was doing a deal this morning with a guy who's reasonably well known in the money world. And he was like, he said, oh, can you do this for me? I said, yeah, I can, but we're expensive. He goes, how expensive? I gave him the price. He goes, that's a lot. I said, yeah, but think about this. I launched 2 of Gary Vaynerchuk's books in London, 500 people each room, at a time where people were laughing at me on the phone for even suggesting they be in the same room as him because they thought he's a nobody. Right? I did the Golden Chamber mixtape with the Wu-Tang Clan, the only mixtape with the whole Wu-Tang Clan hosting it. Sugar Hill Gang podcast, all these projects that I've done for fun. If I do these for fun, imagine what I would do if you paid me. And when I hear you talk, I hear parallels of that. And it always reminds me of the scene in The Dark Knight where the Joker's taken all the money from the mafia. And when they find him, he's sat on the top of it. He slides down it and lights it. It was never about putting it in his own pocket. It was almost like proving to himself how menacing he can be or how much power he can generate, how much creativity he can generate with a view for him to get the goal that he wanted. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like sometimes people like me and you that are creatives, sometimes we're almost sadistic like that. Is that once you remove the need for money, then actually you produce even more outstanding work. Like for me, I can send this event that I created called Vayner World for Gary Vaynerchuk. I can send that to anybody today and be like, I'm not going to give you a pitch. I'm just going to show this to you that I did this 13 years ago for fun. Yeah. That's why my price is my price. Yeah. And if someone says to you, you know, we want you to A&R, we want you to do this, you'd be like, well, this Nina Sky record, I was just helping a girl out. Still. And it's still the hottest record in the club.
Still plays. Yeah. Played the other night.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know I was in the club.
Yeah.
Played the other night here.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. But the thing is, again, when we talk about the bottom line or the backstop, a lot of people equate that to money. Like, I won't go below this.
But it could be the conditions that's required for you to work. Yeah.
Mine is fun. Am I going to have fun at that? So if I'm not going to have fun, it's hard for me to go, bro. It's hard for me to go. Fun or meet someone cool or good experience. Bro, there's nothing better than dinner with your friends. And I don't drink, but like a Coke Zero and good food, family style, talking about, bro, I can't. It's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing. Yeah. And I go everywhere to get that with different friends, different people.
Well, we did that with Cardinal. He hosted a big dinner. Do you remember that we went to when you brought those Puerto Rican kids from the Bronx to the studio, to Solitaire's studio? Dominican kids, to the studio.
God. Man, those kids, man.
Yeah. I think that might have even been around the time that we met. Yeah. And then we had a really good time around that time because we went to the Phoenix Theater and we all went to the club that night. And I remember Solitaire said, come to the club. I came with my cousin. We didn't know what the club was because we were still coming out of the bottle era. Yeah. Right? Yeah. So you'd still need to wear shirts. Man, we're the only 2 brown dudes already in the club.
With button-up shirts.
With the button-up shirts. And you cut the mic and there was girls twerking in front of us, getting low. And you were like, those 2 fucking Indian accountants. And I was like, my cousin looked at me, he was like, I thought that was your man. I was like, no, that's my man, but nah, he got us.
Bro, the most important thing to me is the laugh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, if you in my sight, the laugh is more important. Sorry.
Yeah. No, but imagine us, we wore button-ups because we were like, we don't know what the club is. We're going out. And so, and then there's girls getting low, like they're like legs like splits on the ground, and we did look like we worked for fucking accountancy firms. So, but when you dropped the mic and said, "Yo, you 2 fucking accountants, chill out," the 2 Indian guys accountants, chill out, and I was like, "Yo, he got us." I was like, because if I'd been a civilian, I'd have been offended.
Right.
But as an artist,
But
as a DJ, I was like,
yeah.
no, he had to do that.
Yeah.
Because
But also,
otherwise he's not going to be Cipha Sounds when he leaves here.
Right. But also it's you, so I know you'll get it.
Let's go into a quick fire round.
Okay.
For you to have been in this game so long, you have to be a person of good character and good standing. And you have also surrounded yourself with people like this. When you think about the good characteristics of some of the people that you've worked with that are arguably some of the best in the world, tell me what you think about them. Quick fire round. Number one, what is it about the character of Jay-Z that you've learned something from?
Bro, Jay-Z, I know he gets a lot of flack. Jay-Z to me is the realest dude. Whatever Dame Dash talks shit about him, the dealings I've had with him one-on-one, he's super funny, personable, and honest, and gives you real advice. Now, he gives it to you in a Brooklyn style, where it's like, yo, you can take this or not, I don't care. But if you really listen to it, it's deep advice. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And always been honorable to me and the people I know that work for him. You know, I'm not really on Roc Nation anymore because they don't know about comedy. To this day, I'm still on the roster. They're still my family. They literally said to me, go blow up as a comedian. When you get to that level, come back and we'll get the bread up. Great.
Perfect.
Great. I'm a Roc Nation artist to this day. I haven't been in the office in 3 years. But this family, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it. Tell me about what you learned about the character of Dave Chappelle and how that's helped you navigate your
Dave
career.
Chappelle is my best friend. I'm not his.
That's so real. If you've got famous friends, that's so real.
I say that all the time.
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle is the epitome of doing it your way and not selling out. The big story that he didn't take that $50 million from Comedy Central, and he went, he disappeared. Now all the nonsense they say about him, he was on drugs, he was crazy. None of that's true. He just didn't want to cave. He didn't like the content or whatever it was, and he stayed true to himself. And to this day, we'll be at the biggest arena in the world. We'll be at Madison Square Garden. We did a show, a 9/11 benefit. 9/11 benefit. Pete Davidson, Jon Stewart, Bill Burr, all these comedians. Dave Chappelle's headlining, closes the show. Standing ovation. After that, what we doing? You want to go to the Comedy Cellar? Because all he wants to be is a dirty nightclub stand-up comedian. Comedy club. Now we call it nightclub, a stand-up comedian. And the way that he sticks to that is amazing. And whatever your thing is, you should stick to it.
Yeah. And we're gonna have to. That's gonna have to be the pickup point next time we do this, whether it's in London or America or here in Dubai. We got to do a part 2 because, as I said to you in the car on the way here, I feel like because you're known for so much, the thing that people know you for, whether you're interviewed on a DJ podcast or a whatever comedy podcast, people tend to stay there. For me, as somebody who's admired your work for the last 20 years, I think it's so important to analyze you as a strategist and somebody who's navigated this world while still being so accessible, making time for people in different countries. I really want to talk about how much work you've done connecting the New York, Toronto, and London scene over the years, but we'll get into that.
We'll get into
that next time.
I'll just tell you this on the way out because I know the guy told us we got to leave. So I never get my credit, right? Like the Rick Ross example. I got the Rick Ross from DJ Khaled, the song Hustlin', played it in New York, broke it. Called Jay-Z. There's a song in Miami, it's popping, I'm playing it on the radio. The people talk. Rick Ross gets a deal on Def Jam. Because of me. I'm thinking, I'm going to be the A&R of this rapper. I don't get it. Someone else gets it. The guy who gets it, I was upset. I was sad. Back then, I was before therapy, so I was upset. I didn't know how to control my anger. I was so upset. He pulled me aside. He goes, bro, you gotta fight for your credit. I go, but I'm not doing it for that. I'm doing it because I hear a dope artist with dope music that I want to put out to the world. And he goes, that's not the music business. That's just art. You're in the music business. You got to get your credit. You got to fight for it. You should have never played that record until you told them, give you paperwork, right? Okay, I see what you're saying, da-da-da-da. It still didn't feel right to me because it's more about the art, the love. That guy ended up killing himself.
Wow.
So, like, yeah, you could know the whole game and know the hustle and not be happy. Whatever I don't know what his issues were. He was a great friend of mine. But he ended up killing himself, bro. And he had all the answers. So I was like, he doesn't have the answers. He has his answers. I have my answers. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you got to stay true to yourself. And like every time you take, one last thing, we got to go. Dante Nero. You ever heard of him?
Possibly.
He's a podcast guy, comedian. He used to do a podcast with Patrice O'Neal. He has this great theory, and then we got to go. Dante Nero. You lay in your bed, 3 a.m. You look up in the ceiling. There's a ceiling fan. It's spinning. Right before you fall asleep is who you are. And that all your regrets or all your achievements of the day come out right there like, yeah, I stayed true to myself, or I sold out.
Yeah.
That's who you are. I always want that moment to be clean with me. When it's not, I don't feel good. You could be rich and like, you could cry in a Lambo. Yeah, but I don't want. I'd rather be happy in a. Well, I have a nice car, not a Lambo, but I want to be happy in my Defender.
Yeah. No, that's real, man. There's a lot to learn for that, and thank you so much for taking the time. I can't wait for part 2.
Okay, part 2 coming soon.